Hey up me ducks. Should be 4. No, 5. How we doing? Oh, I've been asleep. It's lucky I've even woke up. So you might have to give me a couple of minutes to start to feel human. I've been binge watching Ozark. Yeah, next thing I know, I woke up and it was like 10 minutes ago. So I quickly made a drink. And I set it for 5 o'clock today purposely because I didn't want to watch the news. I just needed, you need a day off the news and everything else. And it's been a long bank holiday weekend. I've not even opened the chat yet. Let me just open the chat up so that I can have a look. There we go, the volume down. Yeah, and I'll have a look who's here so I can say hello. But yeah, so basically I've had a lay-in because I stayed up late last night. I had a lie-in, I had a long hot bath this morning and something nice for lunch. And I thought, right, this afternoon I'm just going to just chill out, watch some TV, come on when I know the briefing's happening, national government briefing. And then fell asleep. I've been asleep for about an hour and a half, I think. So let's have a look anyway. We've got Elizabeth, that tarot lady, Witch of Whimsy, Thought Thingy, Patsy, Naomi, Sandra, Jennifer, Juliet, Mike, Raven Song, Tycon, Elwasson, Sean, Silka, Lottie, Robin, Nicole, Elizabeth, Kristen, Sparkling Seer, Jamie, Witch of Whimsy, Aquarius Owl, Lisa Vanderwall, Merrick, House of Ash, bonjour, not seen you before, welcome, Michelle, Essence, Tammy Pie, Zane, Maharet, Elaine's kind of one of the people responsible for the theme for today, along with Benjamin and Sandra. Not me, I like that name. Not me. I think you protesteth too much. I think I know who you are, but welcome. Rhonda, Michelle. I'm not sure how you say your name. Mancrus. Wow, I've not seen that before, but welcome. Good Journeys. Zulfa, Mage, Moon with Goddess, Freddie, B, hello B, Forever Whereafter, Maria, so many people here today, Mendy, Kool-Aid, Era Marie, and Lilypad, Angeline, and Bijan, the person I just mentioned. So, welcome. And Nora has just come in. So welcome to everybody who's here today. So hope we're all doing okay. It's a lovely, what a bank holiday weekend, isn't it? Ironic, just ironic. I think I mentioned either yesterday, or it might have even been in Becca's chat and not mine, or Saturday, that this is one of the nicest, weather-wise, nicest Easter bank holiday weekend for, I think they said 25 years. Because normally Easter weekend, you make all the plans to do something. Because it's like the first bank holiday weekend after Christmas. You make all the plans to do something, and then it turns out to be a bit of a washout. Not this year. Hello, spelt that wrong. Okay, I'm not sure what you spelt wrong, but don't worry. There's no calling to account here on people's spellings or anything like that. I hope not. Anyway, the amount of typos and things I do when I'm in people's chats, it's a wonder anybody can understand me. It's quite cold in Sweden. Wow. How is Sweden? It's been years since I was in Sweden. I've been hearing things about your government being very slow to respond and things like that from other Swedes. Severe storms and tornadoes down South USA. Wow, we've had days now of really lovely warm weather. Although I did have to nip out this morning after I had a bath. I nipped out just to get some essentials like milk and bread that I needed. And I went out just in my top, my jumper, without a coat. And I was like, ooh, I kind of wish I'd put something on now. But the days got hotter and warmer. High winds up here in Maine. And thunderstorm here yesterday. Yeah, Sandra, who else had a thunderstorm yesterday? Wales. I was talking to my friend in Wales, and they were having storms. That was Saturday though, sorry, when he was having storms. And I thought, oh, maybe we'll get one, because it did get really close on Saturday. You probably remember I was really struggling in my cup of ketchup in cards because it was really close. Snowing heavily in Finland. Isn't it amazing, all these different weather conditions around the world? Lovely weather in the Netherlands. Yeah. Beautiful weather in Hungary. Wow, aren't we a global family though? Netherlands, Sweden, Hungary, USA, UK. It's just incredible that yet we're all here in one place chatting to each other because we're united in a common love of cards and divination and things like that. I'm in Ontario. Might snow again. It's supposed to be 16 Celsius on Friday. Woohoo, spring has sprung. I need old money. 16 Celsius. I'm not quite sure what that is in old money. Even that I have to convert my phone and everything to tell me Fahrenheit, because I was brought up with Fahrenheit. And when I lived in the States, albeit quite a short time really, it was all, Fahrenheit. Hi Angela, good to see you. Windy and rain in New Hampshire. Okay, so now I've got 86 people here, which is brilliant. I wasn't really going to do a theme today, and when I first set it, I just put QuaranStream number 13. But I've had a bit of a chat with people in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group this afternoon, and it started really with Sandra showing her edge deck that she's done with the Muse Tarot. And if you remember, I showed my Muse Tarot. I've got so many decks out. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And Sandra sent me a message saying, how do you, when you're deciding, she's used 2 pens, when you're deciding, do you do half and then the other half, do you mix them up? And so we were talking about that. That was yesterday. And then she showed it in the Hermit's Cave. And then Bijam, who is in the chat here, said he was in a bit of a slump today and he edged his first ever deck. And he used black edging. He did the Deviant Moon and things like that. And then we started talking about how you can do different variations. So in fact, this version, which is the trimmed bordered version, with this lovely box that Christine made, I did edge in black and I've left it in black. But I had 2 borderless editions that I'd edged in black and then gone over with different gold. So the one I'll show you in a minute, in fact I may as well show you now while I'm talking about it, in this beautiful bag. After a year, and I showed Patrick, when I interviewed Patrick Valenza, I showed him this and asked him what he thought, and he really liked it. I went over it quite lightly with metallic gold, allowing the black still to, this is the borderless one, allowing the black still to show through, because then it gives this kind of aged, vintage look to it, and it matches the gold and black on the back. It's really, I really like how it turned out. And in the Sharpie metallics that you can get, which are just the regular, these aren't the chisel tipped versions, you can get you get silver, gold and copper. But the copper, I can't show it you because I gave it away. I gave it to Jen Rodriguez when she came to stay with me last year. Comes out like a rose gold. And I really love that. In fact, I'm thinking of getting another borderless because I don't have a backup of my borderless now. I have a backup kind of that was bordered and cut, so it makes it smaller. But I don't have, let me show you the size difference. So you can see it makes it quite a bit smaller when you cut off the borders, but also there's a panel there as well on the borderless. And I suppose I could do it with this one actually, rather than buy another backup. I could use the rose gold, which is technically copper, to go over that. You do have to leave it a while though, so it doesn't, doesn't all run into each other. So we was talking about that, and then Elaine Murphy used some glitter pens, as she was showing how some of hers have turned out, and was having a conversation about all the different kind of ways you can edge decks. And then I said, do you know what, you've inspired me. What I'll do is I'll show some on today's QuaranStream. So that's what I'll do. So we all got a cuppa. Should we just have a bit of relaxing and just chat and look at cards and look at edging and all that sort of stuff? Have some fun. Need, says Sandra. Need. What do you need? You will need a backup then, Simon. You're just encouraging me to get a... oh, that's nice. Yeah, so I actually showed Patrick, because we talked about deck modifications, and I wanted to know from a deck creator what his thoughts were when people modified their decks. And he was like, once it's in your hands, it's yours. It's nothing to do with me. It's completely yours. Do with it whatever you like. So yeah. Gonna grab a cuppa. All right then. B-Jam, grab your cuppa. Elaine Murphy, the cards look stunning. They did, didn't they? Really nice. Elaine, I mean, I'm not gonna, no pressure or anything, but do you know when you next do a video, if you just show us the process, because it looked like they were just, well, and you said, didn't you, ballpoint pens, and I just don't know how you edge a deck with ballpoint pens. I know you said you grip them together, but I'm just wondering how the ink went on and how easy it was. Yeah. That deck trim is nice. Thank you, Hotel TV. What else was he going to say? What else was he going to say? I don't know, Robin. What was I going to say? My first one turned out like that. It's the one of my favourite decks now. I'm halfway through edging my Light Seers in green. Oh yes, that's one I've not put out really. So the Light Seers, as you know, if I always grab that one for the Light Seers. I always think it's because of the colour of the bag. The Light Seers Indie, which is a fantastic cardstock and everything, already came in this beautiful green. So I've not done this. And it's a really chunky, thick deck because the card is one of the thickest cardstocks I have. It's amazing. But when I bought the mass-produced version from Hay House, and I was one of the lucky ones really because the cards weren't messed up as they were. They seemed to have rushed to get it out. I couldn't get that colour or anything, so I just went with a darker green. It's kind of like I'm not quite sure what colour you'd use that. You'd call that. It's like a dark teal kind of green. But it came out pretty nice. I was pretty happy with that one. I did my Light Seers in green too. Turned out okay, not great, but I have to redo it. I edged my Light Seers with a light green and then went over it with a light blue. Oh wow, Sandra. That looked quite nice. I did my light series in turquoise. Hello, community. Hello, everyone. So yeah, and these are all going to be about personal trust. I've got about 12 decks, I think, to show you, just different sort of combinations. I do think as well, one of the most effective deck edgings you can do is just pure black. And I've mentioned before many times the black Sharpies that I use, but you can get really beautiful sheens on decks. This is the Talking to the Moon tarot, and it can come out really nice, particularly if the deck has black backs and things like that. It can really finish the deck off. So that was one that I was going to show. So black, I must have, I don't know, 20 decks perhaps that are edged in black. And you know, it's not compulsory, it's a personal thing. I can always remember, I'm sure you won't mind me saying, but Robin, who's in the chat, Total Tarot, was like, what is all this deck modification stuff about? Why would anybody edge them? Why do people trim them? And now he's edging and trimming and doing all sorts with them. And I do remember myself first coming into this community before I was a content creator, watching people's videos, and I was like, why are they all obsessed with getting scissors out and cutting down cards and trimming them with pens? And then you do your first one and you're like, oh, actually, I like that. It's like co-creating, isn't it, with the creators, putting your own personal stamp on it and making it even more personal to you. And you bond with your decks more when you start edging them or modding them. How do you get that sheen, Simon? It's all about the pen, and I'll show it again just in case somebody wasn't in the chat the other day, but I feel like I can get a bit repetitive. But I use this pen, which is the Sharpie Professional. So it says in the box there, Professional, and it has a yellow rubber grip, chisel tipped as you can see. But when you put that on, you only need one coat. You get that lovely vinyl record, as we call it, vinyl record type effect. I take it you edge one card at a time. Yes, definitely. You can get some disasters if you don't. So it can be a bit of a ball ache, but once you get a swing on, then just work your way through them, lay them down, let them dry. If it's something like a Sharpie, you only need 5-10 minutes for them to dry, and carry on. But yeah, one at a time. My light series came in perfect condition as well. Don't know why other people were saying theirs were bad. Because they were bad, you know, they weren't just saying it. So many were bad. I watched so many people open theirs and show the cards, and they was in a terrible state. I got the idea edging from Simon, of course, when I first started my journey. Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was the same. I was like, why are people doing all this edging? And I always remember being really... People going on about cardstock. I can remember, I was thinking, why are they bothered about the cardstock? What's the big deal with cardstock? And now I'm like, oh, this cardstock is terrible. But yeah, it's so addictive. It is addictive. And so is edging. You know, I always said, well, I'm not a deck edger, and Kelly did a few of mine. And then when I got a guillotine, the first deck I edged was the Japaridze, which I'll be showing. And I was so careful with it, and that first, I was like, oh. And then I did it. I was like, ooh, oh, I love it. I love it. Right, what can I edge next? And then I went through a bit of a phase of just every time I open a deck, oh, should I edge it? Trim it, I should say, not edging. I've never tried edging, only trimming. I'm not too fussy about having pretty edges. You see, sometimes edging a deck after trimming it really helps it, because unless you're like Kelly Bear and just so precise, then you do get imperfect. When you've trimmed a deck, it's imperfect. You know, you get a few that are just a little bit more than others. But when you edge it with something, it hides that a little bit, and it just makes it nicer. Oh, BJam used that pen today, so it makes it the Professional, the Sharpie Professional. Yeah. You do feel a connection towards modded cards. You do, because you've invested something of yourself into the creation of the end result. And that's why I say talk about co-creating. You know, you've not created the deck, but because you've trimmed it and edged it and backed it, if you like, then you're adding your own personal stamp to it. So you've got that bond with it, that connection. Hello, Nancy. Good to see you. Because it was a ballpoint gel pen and was an experiment, I had to hold the cards together and do them as a whole deck so that there was something for the nib to actually write on, so to speak. Yeah, it's always a gamble though doing them together, because sometimes they don't always go on, or sometimes they can bleed through, or when you pull them apart. But if it worked, it worked. What I have done before, and particularly with a deck like this one, which is the Groovy Weight, I edged in pink to match those backs. And some were really faint, because light coloured pens are harder to go on. So once I'd done them all, I had to go over them twice. It still didn't look right. So then, and it has to be a brand new deck so that it's perfectly straight, I gripped them and just kind of went over little bits. But yes, that's another one. This is the Groovy Weight, and I edged that in pink to match those, the pink in the back. And there's lots of pink colours and purples and things in this deck. So that's another one I did, which is pink. I hardly ever use my Japaridze because the cards are too big. Right, well, I'll talk about Japaridze next then. So this is the first deck that I ever trimmed and then edged. And they are more of a manageable size now by taking the borders off. I left the bottom panel on, but it really frees up the images. Now, the borders weren't that big anyway, but if I get a normal template tarot card size, you will see that it's the same height, a smidgen. Let me line it up properly. There's a tiny, tiny bit and a tiny bit wider. So it actually becomes a normal tarot size. Put that template back. And I love this. So I trimmed them all. And this is where I was like, I need to do it. I love the way it's turned out. I need to do more. And then the colours on the back are like greens, oranges, blues. So I used multiple colours on this one. It looks really dark, and it's not. I think it's because I've had to pull the blinds. But yeah, multiple colour edges that match the colours on the back. I've just seen a question. Oh, it's because I've not scrolled back down. That looks way better for my hands. My original Japaridze is also trimmed. I saw a question. I can't see it now. Oh, here we go, Naomi. Does anyone know when the Japaridze is coming to the UK? It's on Book Depository now, Naomi. So I'm waiting for payday, and then I'll get my backup because I've only got this version. But I was really happy with the way this turned out. It's not perfect, but again, if you're edging after trimming, you don't necessarily notice the imperfections as much. I just edged the slow tarot with distressed ink. Don't think I did the slow tarot, did I? Here's my slow tarot. No, I've not done the slow tarot yet. Still got that one to do. I think it was because I was waiting for gold. Although what would be really nice for the slow tarot is to edge it in brown, leave it a week or two, and then go over it in gold. That would give a really nice effect. So maybe that's what I'll do with that. Love your edging of the Japaridze. Oh, thank you. Wasn't sure about the Japaridze when I edged my deck. Now it's my favourite. Yes, it just comes. And sometimes, you know, modding a deck, putting your personal touch on it can really, really just improve how you work with it and read with it. Simon, when you count your decks, do you count backups? Yes, yes I do. I don't know, because depends how Libib works, because I scan everything into Libib and then you can put in whether you've got multiple copies. So I don't know. If Libib counts your backups, then yes. If it doesn't, then no. I was thinking about doing my slow tarot too. That would look fab. Yeah, I think I will do that. I think I'll edge it in brown. And I think I've still got a brown marker. And then I'm going to order some metallic Sharpies. Okay, so what shall I show you next? I'll show you an oracle that I did in red. So again, I've got the original Mildred Payne's oracle, the Oracle of Black Enchantment, in black, and that's edged in black. But then they came out with this blood edition, which I really like. So I edged that in a really dark red, like a crimson red. And it actually, I think, really works quite well with the deck. So I could show you the black one, but you know what black edging looks like. But yeah, so that's one I did in red. Purple I did for the Hidden Realms. Now I did this a few years ago, and this was one of the first decks I ever edged in purple. And the reason is, on the backs, there is a purple hint, like a purple hue to the colours. And only, I think, one or two other people can see it. But if you look at any sort of review of this deck, it describes the backs as just being grey. But there's definitely a purple hint to it. So I really loved edging this one in purple. It just looks really, really nice. So I did purple on my Tarot of the Hidden Realm. Oh, you did? Yeah, so again, it makes it quite unique, but it sets off the backs for me as well. And we were talking today, I was talking to Elaine and Bijam, and we were saying about the Pagan Otherworlds, which I've shown before, but I'll show again, and how it can emphasize different colours in the decks. And that's why when I choose colours, if I'm going to do multiple colours, for instance, I look at the back of the Japaridze, and then I think, right, well, I need a blue, I need a green, I need an orange, and that's how I come up with the colours for it. So Pagan Otherworlds, I've got a backup. So you see these beautiful backs in gold and blue. So having a gold edged one, I mean, it's like a gold bullion. It's such a beautiful deck, and the tones are very gold and autumnal anyway. Don't you just love this deck, the feel of it and everything. So I've got that one, which is in like a metallic gold. Now that did take 2 or 3 coverings for that one. But my favourite version of it, to bring out the blue in the backs, is the metallic blue. And this was a Winsor & Newton metallic range. And I think it was called Ice Blue or something like that. But it does bring out the blue in the back of the cards. And it has blues in it. So So that was a nice version. Now this, I think it's okay now, but this came off quite a bit. It's not had another cover, it didn't need another cover, but as I was working with it, up to about a year later, I was shuffling it and using it. Some of the blue was still coming off on my fingers, but it's nice. I like it. Love it, Simon. That looks divine. The blue or the gold? Send me that marker. Yeah. And everybody, I put it in the Hermit's Cave a couple of years ago when I did it. And I put A, B or C, which was gold, blue or left alone. Because people are like, oh no, don't edge the pagan other worlds. And it was the most beautiful deck to edge, you know, no bleeding or anything. Took the ink lovely. Government does not expect to make changes to UK lockdown. Okay, that's all I need to know. That's my little highlight. I like the gold, so sparkling sear, the blue. What is that blue marker? Need to know ASAP. So as I said, it's the Winsor & Newton metallic range. They have some Winsor & Newton pens, which are these ones. Pro Marker, Winsor & Newton. They have two ends. One which is chisel tipped, which is always ideal for edging, facing away from the front of the card. But they did one as well. In fact, is it this one or is it the one I gave away? Yes, here we go. Another one I nearly forgot to show you. The Marshmallow Marseille. That was the metallic range as well, which was the silver to bring out the back. But they had one that was like a very soft metallic violet colour. And I gave that deck away, as you do sometimes. And that came out really nice as well. But the silver came out nice for this one, and it really matches these beautiful backs. So that's another one I edged. Do the Winsor & Newton markers have a strong scent? No. No, I don't think so. The Sharpies do, but no, not the Winsor & Newton. Oh my God, please put that away. I'm still waiting a month on both of those decks. What, the marshmallow? For the Cyrene and the marshmallow, you mean? Can one edge with a glitter pen, or would it affect shuffling? No, I don't think so. And as I was saying earlier, the lovely Elaine has done glitter on hers today. No, they don't, not like Sharpies. Yes, Sandra agrees. Winsor & Newton marker, no scent. Does anyone know about the cardstock quality on Centennial RWS in a tin? Fantastic. It's US Games. It's really good quality. Annie. Hey, hi Al. Good to see you. I was just thinking about you. I was just thinking, oh, where's our Al today? And then there you are. Hope you're okay. So another one to show you. This is one that was, do I regret doing it? Probably not. But I went to Kelly Bears and we edged it in like a metallic bronze because it was back. This was a really thin cardstock. And yeah, we backed it and edged it. And that came out okay, but it does stick. Even now, it still sticks together. You just have to do that before you use it, and then it's okay. It's not the easiest to shuffle. I mean, it's all right, but I'm not sure I'd back a deck again unless the cardstock was so thin. But yeah, that was another one. What else to show you? Some other browns, so earthy colours, so like my Druid Craft is in this beautiful brown, matches the backs. And I did the same for the 3/4 naked version, with where I left the titles on the bottom. Oh, love this deck. So that was edged in brown as well. This one's a little bit lighter, though. It's like a tan brown, whereas the other one's more of a chocolate brown. Again, I always try and choose something that will, you know, be in keeping. Oh, there we go. Couldn't find the little drawstring then. Spacious Tarot. Love, love, love the Spacious Tarot. And it has these lovely plain blue backs with just little flecks like stars. So I edged that in like a sky blue. I didn't want the same, I wanted it lighter. So I didn't want the dark blue, but it matches the colours in this deck. Oh, how beautiful. One of the most underestimated decks. I don't hear it getting a lot talked about, but it's absolutely gorgeous, this deck. And I really like it now I edged it. So, the most recent one, and Sandra chose 2 colours in hers, but I showed this the other day, and that is the Muse Tarot. As you can see, the Muse Tarot. And I used 3 colours there. I used purple, pink and blue to get that effect, because the backs but I hate how I edged it. What's that, Mendy? What do you hate? My favourite. Your favourite. What's your favourite that you hate now you've edged it? Oh, hello, Becca. I might get a backup Spacious. I'm doing a big mod on mine that's taking forever. I need one to use while the other one is being finished. Yeah, it's one of my favourite decks so far that I bought this year. I think it is just so beautiful. Everything about it, all the images, just... I know some of the minors are pippish. The Spacious Tarot, okay. But I don't mind that. I don't mind it, because the theme is about, you know, spacious. I mean, look at the Hierophant, the standing stones, with the sun bursting through. Gorgeous. Spacious, yes. Muse, no. How do you decide which cards are which colour? How do you decide which cards are which colour? If I'm doing multiple edges, you mean? I don't. So what I do, and I was trying to explain this to Sandra, I think she understood what I meant. If I'm using 3 colours, then I'll take the deck that's in order, as in from Fool to King of Pentacles, whatever, and I deal them into 3 piles. And then I put my pens, so if I'm doing 4 pens, 4 piles, put my pens with them and edge those ones. However, with this, I wanted more pinks than I wanted blue. So therefore, my pile for pinks had more cards in it than my blue and my purple, if that makes sense. Elle, can't wait to see. Why is it out of stock? Everyone's saying, oh no, can't you get the Spacious anymore? That's soon sold out, but I'm not surprised if it has. Also in blue, my Todozo Arcs, which is a gorgeous. And the reason why I did this in blue, because Kelly made me the bag for it, and it got this blue ribbon, it got this lovely wine red with the blue interior, because there's lots of cards in this deck that have these beautiful blues. Now, Mendy showed on her channel about a week or 2 ago, because everybody complained about the back, so it looks like Christmas wrapping paper. And I love this tarot deck. I love how every card. There's no uniformity really to it. You know, it's just incredible. You could go from like white background here to dark background to like an earthy colour to baby pinks. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful deck. I ordered the backup because they've got a new floral design back, which has got loads of oranges and things in it. So now this one did bleed, so tiny amounts, but I'm such a perfectionist. I was talking to Jilly at the time, I was like, I need to go and get backup. I've ruined the deck. She's like, show me. And I was holding it up and I was saying, look, there's tiny little bits of bleed. And she's like, you can't see it, Simon. I can see it more on ones like that. Look, on the corner, there's a bit of a bleed. So I went to get a backup and they'd completely, it was out of stock, but now it's back. So I edged that in the blue to match. Look how that matches. Isn't that perfect? Oh, it's the little things. It's the little things that make you happy. Hermit's Cave Facebook page, I meant. Oh, El's put a link. Please, please, please answer the security questions. Another 3 people got declined this morning because they're just not answering the security questions. So if you do want to join us, you're more than welcome, but just indicate that you're happy to abide by the rules, which is just to treat people with respect and respect people's privacy as well. I like those backs. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because nobody liked the backs, and now the new backs have come out, and people are like, well, I like the old backs. And the other one I just wanted to show was the CS Tarot. And watch this space, because I've been in touch with Conrad, and there's something in the pipeline that we're going to plan to do. But this deck is an amazing RWS deck. Really, really gorgeous. Cardstock is lovely as well. But he's got these amber backs, like cracked amber, with Pixie's signature in the middle. But the borders on this deck are this very pale sort of tan brown. So Caramel by Winsor & Newton. And I bought this and edged it while Becca was here last summer. We went to Hobbycraft and I bought this Caramel to edge this deck. And then I gave the pen, because I didn't need it anymore, gave the pen to Becca and she did hers as well. And it finishes it off lovely. But again, it matches the border on the front and kind of the amber on the back. What was that? Oh no. Oh, Arcs is coming up. Designer has stopped selling this item. Oh no. I wonder why. Do you know, I don't even know if I've had a dispatch notification for it. Come to think of it, it's not arrived yet. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Don't worry about it now. I need to get Jackie to edge her CS in that colour. Looks pang. Pang. Yeah, it does. I know. It finishes it off really nicely. And that's the idea for edging for me, is that it finishes it off. I've also ordered a tin to put this in. That hasn't come yet as well. I'm hoping everything starts to come this week. So that's my deck edging. Obviously, there's so many more decks, because as I was sat here, I was like, oh yeah, Marshmallow. And I've edged so many decks over the years, but these are a few just to show different types of colours, or thinking outside the box, you know, and what might work that you've not even thought about. So, but it is very much down to a personal choice, and what you like and what you don't. She stopped selling the red back Ozark, not the orange. But it was a little bit confusing because it's called Tarot des Arcs 2. But if you go and look at the artwork, it's still showing the original backs. So I think that needed to change because it was misleading. Because a few people were saying, well, I've gone to order the new one, but it's still the old one. And it's not. If it says Arcs 2 then it's the backs, because that's all that's changed as far as I'm aware. I'll do a side-by-side when it comes so we can have a look, but I think that's the only change. Thank you, Sandra. CS Tarot, I ordered the tin for Make Playing Cards. Yeah, me too. You have to search for O-Arcs 2, Simon. Yes, that's what I did. Well, I've ordered it. I ordered it a couple of weeks ago. Has anyone found any tins for the mini decks? I have a mini Everyday Witch. No. I suppose that would be quite niche, wouldn't it, really? What image do you put on the front of the tin? And if you go to, if you're in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group and you go to Files, Melissa has put some images in there that are ready to go for tins. So, for example, the study deck, the RWS study deck, that's one of the tins you can get. And rather than go for the sticker, go for the printer directly onto the tin. Really good quality. And another one that I've got is for the blue box, to keep them safely within. Well, I should get Riel's deck this week as well, hopefully. Okay, so L Hermit, I think it's on Make Playing Cards. Do you only edge tarot decks and not Oracle, Simon? No, I showed an Oracle, Sandra. I showed that one. That's an Oracle, and I think there's a couple of Oracles that I've done. A couple, but I'm more about tarot anyway. I do like a nice Oracle deck, but yeah, mainly tarot. I have tried edging one Oracle deck from Hay House and it bled like crazy. I stopped after 2 cards. Yeah, always try and use a title card or something like that first to test, especially if it's an out of print deck. Well, if you want to keep it and you know you're not going to trade it, yeah, but if you've got an out of print deck and you think that you might let it go, then don't edge it at all. Don't modify it in any way, because it could potentially lose value. Unless the person you're trading with is happy that you've modded it and hasn't messed it up. Do they make tins for mini decks? I'm not sure. I haven't seen any, but if you go to Make Playing Cards and you go to the search and just put tins or tarot or whatever, then it tells you all the different things you get. Make your own deck, get your tins, and you'll be able to see what variations they've got. I have stopped edging because of the bleeding. Which one, Becca? Which deck have you had bleeding with? Because you've edged a few decks, haven't you, in your time? Which ones are water-based, Elizabeth? Okay, so anything else then before I go? Anything anybody wants to ask or say? I'm at 25% edge deck so far during this stream. Oh, which deck? Which whimsy? Which one are you edging? I purchased a previous used first edition Marielle and I was super happy. Yes, well, my first Marielle, let me show you my first Marielle. I'm in my PJs. I think it's in this box, in this wooden box. So my first Marielle, first deck ever to be modded, but I didn't do it myself. I had it paid to be done at a printer's. So it is absolutely perfect, like it's just come out of the shop. And I took all the borders off. Now they made a mistake because I asked them to leave the bottom on and they didn't, they just chopped them all off. So I had to get a silver Sharpie and just write on them. But it wasn't too bad because, you know, I'd got like 2 of swords, for example. Or here, you know, page of swords. But I loved them because there was no, when I did this, there was no talks or plans. 6 of cups, look, just have a little 6 and then a C for cups. There was no plans of a borderless deck back then. Here we've got strength. And then they brought out, oh dear. Oh, look. This is what Debbie made me. Debbie made me this box and I absolutely love it. And it's lined, look. But there's a fake, how can I do it? There's a fake bottom. And I didn't know. She told me ages after about this fake bottom. So that made me chuckle. So yeah, this beautiful box. And then, oh, I love this bag as well. This was made for me and sent. Just look at the colours in that. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful lined bag. They brought out the gold gilded version. It wasn't out for long of the Mary Owl. And then, of course, they've now come out with the borderless. And it's silver now, but I was able to get one of the first ones that has got like the black, metallic black edges. And I thought, do I get a 4th edition just to get silver? And I thought, no, I'll just go on forever else. The bum, the famous, oh yeah, the famous bum. And that was a good, I don't know, 18 months ago, I want to say, when she sent me that. Before the bum comment was even made, but she knew how much I loved the new choice, so she put that in as a little hidden thing. And it wasn't until afterwards she messaged and said, did you know there's a fake bottom in that box? And I said no. I never would have known either, had she not have said. So oh my god, that bag, I know. What did you think of the painting of you? I'm blown away, Jamie. I don't know how much I can say about it, but Rupa has made it public on her page. But about 2 years ago, Rupa Dudley, who's creating her own tarot deck, approached me and asked if she could use me for the Hermit card. And of course I was like, wow. Adam, I've just seen you. Sorry, my bad. That's all right. Just as I was talking a minute ago, I lost my iPad. I've got my phone that I'm filming on Do Not Disturb. So that was good. I'd have lost you. But I lost my iPad and it said that my friend was ringing just as I was showing the Mary Owl deck. He's in the room. It's the first time I've ever seen him in here. It's Adam H. And he's put in capitals up above, sorry Simon, my bad, because he rang whilst I was on. But Adam's my friend who I went to stay with in Wales in February, you know, and I did the video with his dogs, the collies. So that's my friend Adam. So say hello to Adam, because he has been in chat once before, and he said, you didn't see me. I said hello to you and he didn't see me, but here he is. And Rupa is in the chat. So I was just telling that story. I hope you don't mind, Rupa. So Rupa asked me about 2 years ago if I would be the hermit for her deck. And I said, absolutely, I'll be so humbled and it'll be such an honour. And then time's gone by, and about a month ago, Rupa said, right, I've finished the Chariot, which is Frida Kahlo, which is amazing. And she started working on the Hermit, and she's been sending me stages of it. And I think, if all being well, it should be completed tomorrow on Tuesday. But it's amazing. I'm really blown away by it. So yeah. everybody saying hello to Adam and giving him a welcome. Yeah, so hi everyone and thanks for the warm welcome. So yeah, so the hermit card, and Rupa said she will put it in the hermit's cave when it's done. So and have a look, tell me what you think. But I think it's brilliant. She's captured my expression on my face really well. It's uncanny when I look at it. But like I say, it's such an honour because I've never been painted before or anything like that. So, will you be dressed in monk's robes? Says Claire. You'll have to see. It's kind of it's in a meditation pose. My hands are like that for the namaste and blessed be. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful piece of work. So Rupert Dudley, the painting gave me such a sense of peace. Good. Bye Naomi. I'm getting off soon as well. I'm just going to pull a card, I think. So it's been a nice chat today. I've been on for almost an hour, which for QuaranStream ain't bad going. So let's pull a Roots and Wings. We'll have a message for the next 24 hours. What do we need to focus on? And it's been nice to see this deck having a bit of a resurgence as well. Since I've been using Roots and Wings for QuaranStreams, you know, I normally pull a tarot card every time I do a couple of Catchman cards. But I just wanted to do something a little bit different for QuaranStream. So I've been using the Roots and Wings. There's so many people have been posting pictures in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group saying, you know, my Roots and Wings has just arrived. So I've had this since last summer. As I said, it was traded with Elle. And I remember taking it to the seaside with me and doing, I don't know if you remember, I did an early morning walk along the seafront. It was about 7 a.m. It was really warm and sunny, and the sun was dancing on the sea, and it just looked beautiful. And I pulled a Roots and Wings. I pulled 3 cards from the Roots and Wings and did a bit of a reading by the sea. Wow, there's 134 people here. I think that's a record. Other than Tarathon, that's a record, particularly for QuaranStream. So welcome everyone. Roots and Wings is the only oracle, and I'm obsessed. I only collect tarot, but I saw the Roots and Wings and had to have it. It is beautiful deck. It's because we love you. Rupert Dudley, the painting is lovely. I just saw it in the Facebook group. Yeah, and it's not completed yet, but I wish you could all see it in person. Well, we'll just have to make do with the electronic version, Rupert, but have you considered doing a prequel to Tarathon? Don't. Tarathon's only next month. We haven't got long to wait. And it's going to be amazing. We've got 24 hours sorted. We're just going to be working on our subjects in the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to advertise at the beginning of May. We've got some old favourites coming back, like Kelly from The Truth in Story. And we've got some new people joining us this year because new people have joined the community. So it's going to be really exciting. Ah, do you know we are in quarantine? A month feels like a year, but we'll probably still be in quarantine. Oh, we've got home again. So we had home the other day, didn't we? But it's come up again. So there's obviously a message here for us to take on board. So home, I mean, what is a home? Is it this? Is it bricks and mortar? Maybe, you know, maybe where we live and our safe space feels like home. But home is a feeling. It's not necessarily bricks and mortar, because you can live in a house, it doesn't feel like home. Home is a sense of belonging. So the message is, you know, we might be stuck at home. We might be in this unusual situation that's now starting to feel quite usual for us. But actually pay attention to what home is for you. What is home? It's a sense, it's a place where you feel you belong. I've often heard people, you know, like when they found this community, they've said something like, it felt like coming home. Or people who have a religious conversion, they find a path and say, oh, I just feel like I've come home. What do we mean when we say that? Someone's just put, this chat is home. And that's a lovely thing, because some people look forward to this every day, coming together, being with each other, having that sense of belonging. But that's what home is. It's not bricks and mortar. It's about making sure that whatever we do in life, we have, it feels natural to us, and it feels like it's helping us and aiding us in our life. And we should all carry that sense of what home feels like. And if you're doing something, it doesn't feel like home, and you don't feel like you're at home, then maybe something needs to change. Maybe we need to look at what that might be, because home is where the heart is. That sounds corny, but what I mean by that is, you know, it's not a physical thing, it's an emotional thing, and it's that sense of purpose and sense of belonging. So let's find our true home, and one where we feel happy, safe, comfortable, from within, and then maybe the external will follow suit as well. Heart choices, that is home to me. Yeah, it's where your heart is, says Becca. Absolutely. Especially if stuff gives you peace. Yeah, finding Simon and Becca's chats were feeling like coming home. That's really lovely. So I'm glad you feel like that. So, well, I've been on an hour. I just heard the bells chime. So thank you for coming today. All 134 of you that was here. And yeah, I really cherish having this time each day during QuaranStream while we're on lockdown, just to come together and hold space for each other. Becca, are you doing anything tonight? If you want to say just before we go, I don't know if you are or not, but now's your chance if you want to put something in. Lovely card reading, show and tell. No worries, BJ. And thank you for the inspiration, you, Elaine and Sandra, today, because that was wow. All those comments then. Be there or be square. So that means you are, Becca. You're doing one later. Lovely. Great. Yup, she is. All right, everyone. Thank you for your time today. Thank you to the moderators for looking out for everybody in the group while we've had such a high attendance as well. So until later in Becca's, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.